A family in Appleton, Tennessee is speaking out after a 7-year-old was dropped off at the wrong bus stop on the first day of school. The child was picked up by a stranger and returned to his mother a few hours after dismissal. Travis Cummings sat down with his mother and grandmother and pressed Hamilton County Schools for more on what happened. Travis, do we know how this happened?
Yes, Cindy, first of all, that family is pretty shaken up. A spokesperson for Hamilton County Schools says the first couple of days of a new school year are a big learning period for bus drivers as they navigate new routes. Now, this first grader had a tag on his backpack with his home address and drop-off information, but it wasn't used. His mom and grandmother want to make sure no family goes through this again.
He was scared and tried to make it home.
Ashley Lewis and her mother Rebecca Goforth say they won't be using Hamilton County school buses going forward. Lewis says when she dropped 7-year-old Kimani off at Appleton Elementary for his first day of first grade, there was some confusion about his bus number. She said she told his teacher she'd pick him up instead.
When I figure out what his bus number is, then I'll let you know he can start riding the bus.
He arrived that afternoon. She says there was more confusion.
Go to the office and he's not there. They don't know where he is. And there were some other parents, a few other parents that showed up that didn't know where their kids were.
Lewis says her son had been put on a bus. She called her older son, who was at home, to have him wait at the bus stop. The bus never showed up. Kimani recognized his grandmother's neighborhood a few minutes away and asked the driver to be dropped off there.
Instead of looking at his tag, and he has a big tag hanging on his backpack with his name, address, and her phone number, and she dropped him off here.
Goforth wasn't home. Her grandson walked into the woods and was eventually picked up by a woman driving by, who the boy did not know.
2 different cars pulled in back to back, and all I'm hearing is, "Mama, mama, mama, mama." Anybody could have hit him or kidnapped him or anything.
According to a spokesperson for Hamilton County Schools, they started the school year off with 242 school bus routes transporting about 25,000 students. Cody Patterson says this was a miscommunication, saying, quote, "The first day of school is one full of new routines for students and new routes for many bus drivers," end quote. This family, troubled by what could have happened, has a message for those with children in their care.
Look after that child like that is your flesh and blood, because that is somebody's flesh and blood.
Now, Cody Patterson with Hamilton County Schools added that parents can make sure the tag on their student's backpack has bus stop location information and make sure any address changes are sent to the school as well. First Student operates Hamilton County school buses, and they have a hotline set up to take any school bus concerns. Lewis says she didn't call that hotline. She was just focused on finding her son that day. In the studio, Travis Cummings, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Right.